What is happening, you wonderful people? So last night I got a chance to go see GOAT, and in this film, a small goat named Will gets a once-in-a-lifetime shot to join the pros and play Rollerball, a high-intensity, full-contact sport that's dominated by the fastest, fiercest animals in the world. Ridiculed by his teammates, Will becomes determined to revolutionize the sport and prove that small can ball. And that's all I can say without giving too much away. Let's talk about it.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Let me make you stay safe.
So GOAT, when it comes to GOAT, unironically, I was not really excited for this movie, and unironically because I am a basketball fan. I love basketball. I played basketball in middle school in 7th and 8th grade, and I played in 9th grade, and you would think because I am a basketball fan, I love basketball, you would think I'd be over the moon excited for this movie, and it all comes down to execution, right? The trailers didn't really work for me all that much. The marketing as a whole, the marketing and trailers really didn't work for me, but I knew it was being done by Sony Animation, so I was like, oh, they did the Spider-Verse films, obviously not the same people who worked on those films, but the same company, and I thought they did really good with those movies, to Clyde with the Chance of Meatballs movies, and I love me a good sports story. I love me a good underdog story. I like basketball movies. They're all kind of the same. They're all kind of cookie cutter. You know how they're going to go, how they're going to end, but you still have fun with most of them. And I think the cast in here is really fun as well. You have Caleb McLaughlin, who I love from Stranger Things. You have Steph Curry, who I think is arguably one of the best basketball players in the world. And I was kind of interested to see how Steph Curry would be as a voice actor and as a producer. He did a good job. He did a good job. You have Aaron Pierre in here as well. You have David Harbour, who I really like. And you have Jelly Roll as well. Gabrielle Union and a lot of other voice actors, a lot of other actors in here as well. And I'm not familiar with the two directors that worked on this movie. Tyree Dillahay, I might be butchering his last name. I think he's mainly known for working on Bob's Burgers, which I've seen a little bit of Bob's Burgers, but I'm not overly familiar with that IP, so I really don't know any of his other work. I really haven't seen any of his other work besides little pieces of Bob's Burgers here and there. And the second director, the co-director in here, Adam Rosette, I'm not familiar with at all, so I'm not really familiar with the directors of this movie, their other work. And overall, after walking out of the film last night, after walking in with low expectations, I walked in with no expectations at all. I walked out just being fine with it. It's fine. So if you're new to my channel, or if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I like to talk about my positives first, then my negatives next. But even when I need to be negative, I will be positive. And even when I need to be positive, I will be negative as well. And overall, as someone who walked into this movie not having any expectations at all, and as someone who walked into this movie loving basketball, it's probably my favorite, if not maybe my second favorite sport of all time. I walked out just being fine with it. I think there are some really great things about it, but also there are some things that I just wasn't the biggest fan of. There's some things that really work, but there's some things that I would have just changed if I was the director of this movie. But for the most part, it's fun. It's a fun movie for the most part. It's innocent and sweet enough. You kind of know what you're gonna get. It's very innocent, and it does play it safe. It does play it safe. It's a very safe movie, but you kind of know what you're gonna get in here. And, you know, I think our main lead, Will, in here, voiced by Caleb McLaughlin, is very relatable. He's very relatable, and he's a very likable character. You get really attached to him, and I think Caleb McLaughlin, again, I know him from Stranger Things. I think he's awesome. You kind of get attached to his character, and as someone who I mentioned earlier, I played basketball in 7th and 8th grade and 9th grade, and I'm someone who, one of my dreams years ago was to be in the NBA. One of my dreams was to be a pro basketball player, and that kind of got ruined for me. It kind of got ruined for me, and the thing with this movie is it's really about overcoming obstacles. It's really about chasing your dreams. It's about going the extra mile. It's about chasing your dreams and accomplishing all these things, even when you're the smallest person on the court. And back when I used to play, skin and bones, still am. And I didn't get much playing time. And I'm not trying to talk about my sob story for y'all to feel bad for me. I'm just saying my experience, why this movie's relatable to me personally. Like, I wanted to go to the NBA. I feel like this character, Will, is relatable to me because I was in the same situation as him. And overall, it's just a very relatable film. It's a very relatable film. And I'm always someone I'm an advocate for telling people to accomplish their dreams. I always tell people never give up. And I never give up. I have this dream to continue accomplishing. And I have goals for all of this right here to continue accomplishing as well. And overall, I think Caleb McLaughlin did a really good job voicing Will. He did a good job. And I thought all the other actors did a good job voicing their characters. You have Gabrielle Union, who voices Jet Fillmore. Jet Fillmore is kind of the main basketball player in this universe that Will looks up to. And she is a character in here that you would think would be a very stand-up, a nice character to Will because he's a fan, but she kind of is a jerk in the movie in a way. You'll see what I'm talking about when you see the movie. You'll understand. You'll be like, oh, that's kind of messed up. And then you have Steph Curry. He voiced Lenny. Steph Curry did a good job producing it. He did a good job voicing this character as well. And you have Moto, voiced by Nick Kroll. Archie, voiced by David Harbour. Olivia, voiced by Nicola Colhan, which I'm not familiar with that actress. And Main Attraction, voiced by Aaron Pierre. He's the main, antagonist of this movie. And Dennis Cooper, or he's the coach in here, voiced by Patton Oswalt. And Grizz, who doesn't have a big role, voiced by Jelly Roll. And overall with this movie as well, I think the animation is very vibrant and colorful. It really is reminiscent of Spider-Verse. It really is, even though I haven't seen it. K-Pop Demon Hunters. It's very reminiscent because that was Sony as well. It's very reminiscent of both of those movies, those franchises, right? And it's just really cool to look at. It's visually pleasing to the eye. You actually sit back and you're like, man, this is a good looking film. The animation is not too glitchy. It's not all over the place. It's very nuanced. The animation, the attention to detail in the animation and the movie itself is very nuanced. The attention to detail is amazing. It's phenomenal. And it's really a feel-good movie. It's a feel-good movie. And the emotional beats hit for the most part. I go back to talking about accomplishing your dreams. And in the movie, you'll see Will is the smallest character in the movie, and no one believes in him. No one believes in him, and he has to go the extra mile, and he has to prove everybody wrong, and the emotional beats hit because of that reason, but also you find out something about Will's character that happened to him in his life down the line later in the movie, and you'll see what it is, and you're like, oh, man, that hits, and actually hit me like a ton of bricks. It did. I was like, man, that's sad. That's so sad. And I think the metaphor of our main character being a goat in here is actually genius. I thought it was actually genius. And when you heard of this movie, when you first heard of this movie, and you're sitting there and you're like, this could go really bad. That metaphor, I don't know about this. But when you watch the movie, the metaphor for our main character being the GOAT, the greatest of all time, it actually worked. It actually worked, and the metaphor didn't feel shoehorned in. It actually really didn't take me out of it. It actually was genius in here. I thought it was genius. And honestly, it's legit funny at times. Archie, who's voiced by David Harbour, he's the Rhino in here. He's actually kind of the comedic relief character, and you have Moto, who is voiced by Nick Kroll. He's kind of not as funny as David Harbour's character, not as funny as Archer, but he's kind of all over the place and very chaotic, and he's kind of the other comedic relief character in here as well. And I think the basketball scenes in here are very energetic, and they're super fun and very creative, and I will say the world building in here is really good, and it did remind me of Zootopia as well. It really honestly reminded me of Zootopia. It's kind of like a mix of Spider-Verse, a cross into K-Pop Demon Hunters and Zootopia in a way. Different animation style from Zootopia, not the same animation style, but I like the world building in here, mainly when they're going to different places to play each game. There's a tundra arena they play in. There's a fire type, rocky type arena they play in, which was really cool, and that was very creative. All those places they played in, whether it's the tundra one, whether it's the fiery rocky place, was very, very creative. And I think the editing is very fun in here. It's very quick as well, and the movie's innocent and sweet. It's innocent and sweet enough. It's nothing groundbreaking. It plays it safe. It does. And the attention to detail in this world that we're introduced to, though, is very detailed and nuanced. It is. And I think the attention to detail in not only the world, but the animation and the colors is phenomenal. And the story, I felt was engaging for the most part, but while there are some things that did work in here, overall, I just walked out being okay with it. I don't need to watch it again. I kind of knew where the movie was going, and even when I watched the trailers, I was like, this isn't really doing anything for me. I'll still go watch the movie, but I have a feeling I'm going to walk out just being okay with it, and that's how I felt walking out. There are some really great things about it. There are some fun things in here, but it's a movie that you've seen a million times before. It's nothing new or groundbreaking. You know how the story's gonna go down plot point wise, and you know how the story's gonna end. You know the same tropes and cliches you see in every animated movie. You know the tropes and cliches you get in every sport movie, whether it's a baseball movie, whether it's a hockey movie, a football movie, whether it's a basketball movie. You know what's going to happen. You know you have your main antagonist who is going to lose in the end. You have your main character who's basically smaller than everybody else and no one believes in him, and he has to go the extra mile and prove everybody wrong. You know what you're going to get. You know how it ends. And the same cliches and tropes that you've seen before are in here. And it's very predictable. It's very easy to read. It's very cookie cutter. It's very run of the mill. And it's just nothing felt earned in here. Nothing felt earned in here, and the pacing's fine for the most part. With the story, I felt engaged. I felt engaged into not so much just fish out of water story. It kind of felt like a fish out of water story at times, but in a way, sort of is. In a way, it sort of is. I thought the pacing was fine because I was engaged. I did enjoy it for the most part, even though I just walked out being, overly okay with it. But nothing feels earned, like especially the last game we get at the end of the movie, like the final game, the finals in their tournament, their playoffs, right? It feels very rushed. It feels very rushed. And right when the final game starts at the end of the movie, the first quarter starts, then it just throws you into the second quarter, then the third quarter, then the fourth quarter. And you're like, man, it's very rushed. It feels very, very rushed. And there is a scene in the movie where our main character, Will, does get recruited by the team that he grew up watching. And even that just didn't feel earned. It didn't feel earned because you're excited for him in the movie. You're excited for him. You're like, oh, I hope he gets on that team. I hope he joins that team, right? And it just doesn't feel earned. It feels like he didn't do anything to be on that team. It feels like he just magically appeared on that team, and I just didn't really like that much. And I wish the other characters in here were developed more as well, and there's not much of that in here, and it definitely gets better as it goes on, but the movie doesn't hook you, and it just, you don't feel all the way engaged, even though I did for the most part at times. Like I said earlier, it's not as strong. The story's not as strong as it should be. So yeah, overall with GOAT, as a basketball fan, as someone who is not overly excited for this movie after watching the trailers, and as someone who wasn't the biggest fan of the marketing for this movie, I walked in not having any big expectations, and I walked out being okay with it. There are some really great things about it, but also there are some things I'm just not the biggest fan of. I like some things, but if I were the director, I would have changed some things. So with GOAT, I am going to give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars, and with GOAT as well, I am going to say choose your time wisely. If you're a basketball fan, if you're a fan of this type of animation and these animated movies that Sony's been making, if you saw the trailer and you thought this looked good, if you were over the moon excited for it, I think you might enjoy it. So that'll wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, share in this video. We just hit 1K subs a while back. We're now 1.2K. And the next big milestone is 2K and 3K after that. Beyond that as well. If you're new as well, I did movie reviews, TV show reviews, trailer reactions, movie live streams, movie news, movie rankings, all that wonderful movie stuff under the movie umbrella. And let's talk about in the comments down below. Did you like GOAT? Did you not like GOAT? Are you going to go see it in theaters? Or are you going to wait to watch it on streaming? Let's talk about it down below. Keep talking movies, wonderful people. Cheers.